Hi everyone, hope you're okay. Weather this weekend hasn't been that great, but at least we've still managed to get out for those walks. I'm going to read you the next chapter of our Amazing Grace story. At the end of chapter 3, we had a large commotion happening in the corridor, thanks to Harris the cat, who'd already managed to soak the manager, the owner of Rangers Football Club. So chapter 4, Rangers rocked by groggy goalies. You can probably guess the first thing I saw when I went to see the source of all that noise. Yes, Harris. He was sitting up straight, calmly licking one of his paws. Just behind him was a tangle of arms and legs. Some of the legs I thought belonged to Cyril. Well, 2 of them, I suppose. He twisted up in a pile with a large plastic bucket. Oh, groaned the pile of arms and legs. When things began to untangle, I counted 3 bodies. One was Cyril, who had begun to hop around even more nervously than before. The other 2 looked like footballers. They struggled to their feet, both moaning and clutching their shoulders, a left and a right. Once they were up, I knew who they were. The footballers, I mean, not the shoulders. Eddie Spriggett and Phil Pounce, the Rangers goalies. Well, Cyril, said Mr. Dickory. You have had a very unfortunate morning, haven't you? It was that cat again. Are you trying to tell me that it was a cat who knocked down both our goalies? Yes. And a cat who threw water over me? Yes. Well, it must be a very tough cat. Perhaps we should be signing him to play for Rangers. I don't think that's allowed, Mr. Dickory. I think cats are... Shut up, Cyril. Mr. Dickory then turned his attention to Eddie and Phil. They were still moaning and groaning and holding their injured shoulders. You could tell from a glance that they were in a bad way. They would be out of football for some time by the looks of them, and Ragley Rangers would be short of a goalie. And they'd have to find a replacement soon, some young hopeful. Oh no. I thought it was time to creep away again as silently as I could, without even a word to Mr. Quint. I didn't get very far though. Just a minute, called Mr. Dickory as I was disappearing backwards towards the corner. What did you say your name was? Swift, answered Mr. Quint for me. Sammy Swift. And he's a goalie, is he? Not exactly, I managed to say. Oh, yes, he is, said Mr. Quint, really brilliant. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Oh, this is no time for modesty, said Mr. Dickory. Come into my office at once. And he charged off, leaving Reginald T. Quint to bustle me after him. Things happen so quickly. Sign here, sign here, sign here. And that was it. I left the office. I had tried to explain, but they just wouldn't listen. They needed a goalie and they thought I was a goalie and they said I had to start training with the team come Monday morning. I came away feeling quite ill. You see, I was a fairly good goalie, but I was a bit out of practice. And things had happened so quickly that I couldn't help but feel nervous about it all. I left the ground deep in thought and noticed Harris trotting along beside me. This is all your fault, I said to him. Meow, he answered with one of his smiles. It's all very well for you to say that, but I have to face facts. I am not all that good in goal. Harris stopped in his tracks and looked at me with his head on one side. All right, I had to admit, I'm not very good at all. I'm hopeless, in fact, but they think I'm good and they're expecting me on Monday. And what am I going to do, Harris? What am I going to do? That's the end of chapter 4. But you can already start to think about what might be happening next in the story. So I'll get the next chapter out to you tomorrow. I hope you're all enjoying it. And stay safe and know that we're missing you. Take care. Bye.